My biggest fear when I'm in a new country is doing something stupid or maybe even potentially rude. Here's my list of 10 things not to do when you're in Israel. Number one, do not give people personal space. There's no concept of personal space. When you're in line, make sure you press up on that person or else they won't even know that you're in line. High taxes, small country, the culture is you gotta get it, you gotta get after it, establish your territory. Number two, don't do small talk. All the little chitty chatty things we do in America. You want to see how the weather is and all this stuff. It's not normal here. It's weird. You want to talk about politics. You want to talk about religion. You want to talk about the concept of how the universe is aligned and what our existence is on this earth. Israelis are down for that conversation. Do you need something from them? They'll help you out, but they're not looking for little chit chatty. They're not interested in your life necessarily on a surface level. Number three, don't drive slow. This country, people drive very, very fast. They drive crazy. I think it's because of the military. I've been on some bases, like people don't respect the rules. It's just whatever. And it's tough going from like military driving to like normal human driving. So I can kind of see it maybe, but it's just Middle Eastern society in general. You want to make sure if you're in the fast lane, go fast. You will be flashed. It's not personal. It's not because they hate you. It's simply not normal here. Part B of this, when you're changing lanes, don't put on your blinker. People don't use blinkers here. Just in general, drive a little bit more aggressively. Number four, and this goes more for my Americans because Europe's similar. Do not buy a big car. Big cars are not very common here unless you maybe work out on the farm. Buy a small car. When I say small, I mean small, like European size, a Fiat, because in America, we're used to the bigger four-door sedans. You'll find better parking, better gas mileages, the eco, all that stuff will just be much easier. It's way more of a hassle to drive. It's way more expensive to drive here, like per capita. If you're going to move here, if you're going to rent maybe a car, make sure you rent a small car. Number five, do not go to sleep early. In America, we might go out at 10, 11, or we might pregame at 10 and then go out maybe at 11, maybe 12. Israelis, they go out. They actually, this is what they do when they go out. Let me backtrack. First, everybody comes to somebody's house. Then everybody hangs out, talks, drinks, and then maybe at 1, maybe at 2, then they will go out. You're talking about having your night start at 2 a.m. Keep in mind, if you're an Israeli watching this, in America, a lot of the bars, they close at 2 a.m. People are maybe having dinner or maybe they're pre-gaming and then they go out maybe at 10, 11, they hang out for a little bit and then they go home at 2, maybe 3. And then if you're crazy, maybe you're in New York, or you go out past maybe 5. And for me, I'm like a go to bed at 12 type of guy. I don't even really go out anymore. So if you need to take a nap during the day, I recommend taking a nap during the day because I'm letting you know they might stay up till the sun comes up. Number 6, don't work too much. Even if it's a weekday, if somebody wants to grab some food, if somebody just wants to hang out, sit on a bench and chat, do that. Be more open. I know Americans, we like to work and we're all about hustle culture, but here it's a little bit more relaxed. It's part of the Shabbat culture. Obviously Saturdays, a lot of Israel likes to shut down. Even if you're not super religious, you want to just kind of unwind. Doing nothing is not socially weird, unlike America where everything is about having an activity. Oh, you want to go to the gym, you want to go hoop, you want to go out, you want to, do this, that, and the third. It always needs to have some sort of purpose to it. Here, that's not the case. Don't be a lame-o. Number 7, don't be too nice. You got to be tough. You got to barter for things. You got to argue. You will be taken advantage of if you do not step up for yourself. If they know you're an outsider, they might give you a little bit more grace, but either way, any little interaction might be stressful, just predicated on the culture and communication style of Israelis relative to America. In America, if you run into a problem, if something happens, they'll be like, yeah, like, let me help you with that. Of course. It's just not that culture here. So you might just get a person that is nice, maybe, or then you might get a person that is just combative Israeli. They want to argue, they want to barter, because that's what they're used to. They're used to having some sort of tension. So be ready for that. Make sure you know how much something costs, what the procedure is for certain things, because there's a shortage of patience in Israel. Number 8, do not make plans too far ahead. This is kind of hilarious. Like some parts of Europe, I think like Scandinavian countries, that, you want to make plans like maybe 2 weeks ahead because they have their whole freaking, next month calendarized. But for me, I'm like, hey dude, like I'm not trying to do this whole last minute. Hey man, what are you up to? Like I'm pulling up, let's slide, let's go to the town. Like, no, man, I need a little bit of like a window to mentally prepare myself to hang out. Here, that's not the case. They actually prefer last minute because only today's promised. It's not disrespect. It's not that they don't respect your time. This is the culture here. So embrace it and, live a little bit. This kind of goes into number 8, but number 9 is do not show up on time. We got this thing about Black people time in America. This is Israeli time. This is universal. All races, it don't matter. Israelis are notoriously late. For me, I'm not a late person. Even if I am rarely late, I feel very bad about it because I'm wasting somebody else's time. And, I said I'd show up at that time. So I don't like to do that. If somebody gives you a particular time, there's an unwritten rule about when someone should realistically show up to this event, to party, to whatever it is. Even if you think it's a very important event, they will still show up late. Everybody. Make sure you communicate to whoever you're hanging out with. Like, hey, do you really mean 6 p.m.? Or do you mean 6 p.m.? People kind of roll in at realistically 6:45, because that's actually an important distinction here. This is the thing about America. If they're not able to make that time, they'll shoot you a text, they'll give you a call, be like, hey man, I'm gonna be a little bit late. There's none of that here. Ain't nobody calling you up, ain't nobody texting you saying, hey man, I'm gonna be a little bit late. They don't care. They're gonna show up, when Hashem says they're gonna show up. So they might be late to their own party if you're invited to a party. Number 10, and this is the most important aspect of Israeli culture, and this one is the one that will make or break your experience in Israel if you are visiting, and that is don't overthink the interactions you have with Israelis, and don't overthink the culture. If you're an outsider, most of the time they will know and they will treat you like an outsider. Anything you do that is rude or whatever, or is not proper, they will know this dude is not an Israeli, this guy does not know what they're doing, and they will probably help you. Make sure that you understand that Israeli culture is very casual, very relaxed for the most part. I know it sounds like a contradiction because of what I'm saying about speaking very aggressively or confidently. I know it sounds like a contradiction because of what I said about their driving habits, but for the most part, they're not over analyzing everything. They're not overthinking. And if you do something stupid, they're not gonna hold their tongue and be like, could you believe what they did? No, they're gonna tell you if something bothers them. If they think negatively of you, they're gonna communicate that with you, even though a lot of people can't take it, depending on where you're from in America, depending on where you're from the world. Because one of the mistakes I see people making is they will overanalyze an interaction with an Israeli, and they will think that Israeli is more mad at them than they actually are. One thing that they did, or they forgot to message them. Israelis will let you know what the deal is. If you're an outsider and they know that you don't know what you're doing, they will most likely help you. They will make you feel at home. They will welcome you. And I have a story about this. When I was driving up into a roundabout, it's a 2-lane for my Americans. This is how it's set up. You got 2 lanes and then 2 lanes going the other way. And the 2 lanes going into the roundabout, there's a crosswalk, right? Like a checkered crosswalk where you're supposed to stop at. Now I stop at the crosswalk because, again, this is what we do in America. But as the person crossed into the 2nd lane, I was on the left, I went. So I went because it's clear now, I can go. And in America, you don't have to wait until the person crosses all the way across, especially when that person is not in front of your car anymore. You can just go. But here, apparently, if you don't wait until that person's crossed all the way, that's a ticket. And they are very serious about that. So I did that in front of a cop, and then he went to pull me over, and then I went past the roundabout, and then as he was pulling me over, I did it again. And he pulls me over, he comes and talks to me, and he realizes I'm not Israeli, or he thinks I don't live there, or maybe I'm on vacation because my Hebrew is really bad. So he says, do you know what you did? And I said, I literally have no idea. He said, you just did it in front of me too. You just went when the person was trying to cross the street. I was like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. He's like, okay, well, this is a very expensive ticket. I forget how much it would have been, maybe 2,000 shekels or something like that. And he's like, just make sure you know that and don't do that. And then he left. So I assume, knowing that I don't know what I'm doing, knowing that I literally broke the law in front of him twice, realizing that I'm not from there, I don't know what's going on, he let me off easy. And again, that's really the mentality here. Israelis are going to try to make you feel welcome. They're going to give you that Israeli hospitality. And anything that I left out, Israelis, I know I don't got to tell y'all, but make sure you comment down below anything I missed, anything you want me to add. I will star it to make sure that people understand. I'm out. Peace.